You are listening to Audio SSLC, your audio medium for easy understanding and revision. To download a copy of this recording, please visit audiosslc.com. History Unit 2. The Extension of the British Rule. In this unit, you'll learn about Anglo-Maratha Wars, the consolidation of the British power, no succession rights for the adopted children, subsidiary alliance, and Anglo-Sikh Wars. Through Carnatic Wars, the English had made other European countries not to challenge them in India. They gained complete political control over Bengal through Plassey and Buxar battles. By 1765, they had gained control of most of the eastern parts of India. Since the Marathas and Mysore states were dominant in southern and western part of India, the hold of British was restricted to Bengal and Bombay regions only. Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan of Mysore, along with Peshwas of Marathas, were the only impediments in the path of expansion for the British. The others were Sikhs in the northwestern region. Ranjit Singh, who emerged in the later part of the 19th century, was a formidable opponent to the British. He was successful in organizing the Sikhs. The British also waged repeated wars from the mid of 18th century to mid of 19th century to extend their empire in India. Apart from this, they also annexed various kingdoms with cunning policies like subsidiary alliance and doctrine of lapse. During this period, the British waged 3 Anglo-Maratha Wars, 4 Anglo-Mysore Wars, and 2 Anglo-Sikh Wars. Since the Anglo-Mysore Wars are discussed in Unit 4, here we shall understand the wars of the British with Marathas and Sikhs. Anglo-Maratha Wars. First Anglo-Maratha War, 1775 to 1782. The Marathas instilled Shah Alam II back on the throne of Mughal Empire in Delhi. Shah Alam II was under the care of British after the defeat in Buxar War. Now the emperor gave Kora and Allahabad to Marathas, which he had earlier given them to the British. This resulted in the enmity between Marathas and the British. During this period, the death of Maratha strongman Madhav Rao Peshwa was a major setback to Marathas. Though his brother Narayan Rao came to power, he was murdered by his uncle Raghobha or Raghunatha Rao. This resulted in the infighting for the Peshwa post. The Maratha Federation brought Madhav Rao II of Narayan Rao to the post of Peshwa. Upset with this development, Raghobha approached the British for support. The British thought of exploiting this situation in their favor. A long war was waged from 1775 to 1782 between the Marathas and the British. Initially, though Marathas gained upper hand, later they had to lose Allahabad to the British. The Maratha Federation, unable to sustain the war with the British, finally entered Salbai Agreement and ended the war. Madhav Rao II was named as the Peshwa. Lord Wellesley, 1798 to 1805, and the Subsidiary Alliance. The expansion of the British Empire took place in a larger pace after the arrival of Lord Wellesley as the Governor-General of India. By this time, the powerful states of Marathas and Mysore had become weak and the expansion was easier. Lord Wellesley followed 3 policies to expand the British Empire in India. They were subsidiary alliance, waging war against new states, and administering the states directly that were under the control of the British. Subsidiary alliance. Lord Wellesley brought this policy into effect in 1798 in order to bring the Indian states under control. This was basically a military protection agreement between the East India Company and the Indian state. The conditions of subsidiary alliance were: number 1, the Indian king had to keep the British army in his kingdom. Number 2, the concerned state had to bear the expenses of the army and the wages of the soldiers, and also had to give certain revenue lands as well. Number 3, the king has to have a British resident in his court. Number 4, the king could not appoint any other European without the permission of the British. Number 5, in order to enter any agreement or pact with any Indian government, the permission of the Governor-General was mandatory. 6. In return of all these services, the company would offer protection to the state from any internal or external aggression. The British could place Indian state under their control through this policy, and the maintenance of the army became easy. The Indian states were subjected to severe economic exploitation. The Hyderabad state was the first state to enter this agreement. Later, Mysore, Awadh, Tanjavur, Maratha, Pune, Berar, Gwalior and other states entered this agreement. Second Anglo-Maratha War from 1803 to 1805. The differences among the Maratha chieftains was the reason for this war. An enmity broke out between Yashwant Rao of Holkar family and Daulat Rao of Scindia family, along with Peshwa Balaji Rao II. In 1802, the army of Holkar defeated the army of Scindia and the Peshwa. The Peshwa appealed for help from the British. Lord Wellesley finally got an opportunity to meddle with the affairs of Marathas. The Peshwa entered the subsidiary alliance system by accepting the Treaty of Bassein. Other Maratha families like Holkar, Gwalior and Bhosle formed an alliance opposing this treaty. Lord Wellesley defeated the armies of various Maratha families from 1803 to 1805. But his battle-thirstiness increased the financial burden on the company. On being criticized for this policy, Lord Wellesley resigned from his post and returned to England. This resulted in peace in the region.
You are listening to Audio SSLC, your audio medium for easy understanding and revision.
To download a copy of this recording, please visit audioSSLC.com. Third Anglo-Maratha War from 1817 to 1818. The Maratha families tried their best to protect their independence and honor. Even the Peshwa attempted to free himself from the clutches of the company. The Peshwa attacked the British residency in Pune and burnt it down. Appa Saheb of Nagapur and Malhar Rao Holkar rebelled against the British and were suppressed ruthlessly. Finally, Peshwa Baji Rao II fought against the British at Koregaon and Ashti and later surrendered to the British. The British abolished the Peshwa post and granted a pension to Baji Rao II. They installed Pratapa Simha, the descendant of Shivaji, as the ruler of Satara, a minuscule state, and named him as the traditional leader of Marathas and suppressed the Maratha resistance. Coming to the consolidation of the British power, 1818 to 1857. The British completed their agenda of ruling the entire India from 1818 to 1857. They occupied major states like Sindh, Awadh and many other smaller states. Next we have Anglo-Sikh Wars. A political anarchy broke out in Punjab after the death of King Ranjit Singh in 1839. The British attempted to invade Punjab, violating the continuous friendship pact they had with the erstwhile king. In December 1845, a war broke out between the British and Punjab. Sensing the danger from an outside force, Hindus, Sikhs and Muslims got together to defeat the British. They signed a humiliating Lahore Agreement in 1846, with the British resident becoming the de facto ruler of Punjab. Like this, Punjab became the dependent state of East India Company. The Sikh opposed the attempts by the British to rule Punjab directly. The opposition were led by Chattar Singh Attariwala in Lahore and Mool Raj in Multan. Again, the people of Punjab were defeated. Finally, Lord Dalhousie merged the state of Punjab with the British Empire. Coming to Dalhousie and the doctrine of lapse. Dalhousie, who arrived in India as the Governor-General in 1848, made an attempt to integrate Indian princely states with the British Empire. He adopted doctrine of lapse policy, whereby the adopted children of Indian kings were refused of their right to throne. According to this policy, if any Indian ruler dies without children, their adopted children had no legal right over the throne, and such state gets merged with the British Empire. Princely states like Satara, Nagpur, Sambalpur, Udaipur, Jhansi, Jaipur came under this policy. As the Governor-General knew the conditions of these states, he used this policy as a political weapon. With the severe implementation of this policy, not only the princely families, even ordinary people who were sympathetic to these kings rebelled against the company. Their love for their kings and the sense of loyalty fueled this rebellion further. This finally resulted in the Sepoy Mutiny of 1857. Know this. Ranjit Singh. Ranjit Singh was born in 1780 as the son of Malan Singh, who headed Sukar Chakkiya Misl, one of the 12 misls of Punjab. He lost his father by the age of 10. When Jaman Shah of Kabul invaded India, Ranjit Singh offered his services to him. Jaman Shah made him the governor of Lahore, along with the title Raja. He was 19 years old by then. From hereafter, he grew up in an amazing way. He aimed at achieving absolute power over all the Sikhs. He took control over all the Sikh misls present to the west of Sutlej and established his own Sikh kingdom. He entered continuous agreement with the British in 1809 at Amritsar. He organized his army on the lines of European armies. His army included Gorkhas, Biharis, Pathans and even Muslims apart from Sikhs. He founded a foundry workshop at Lahore in order to manufacture cannons. The army of Ranjit Singh was the best among all the Indian rulers of that time. He was secular in temperament and supported both Hindu and Muslim spiritual leaders. People from all religions held high offices in his regime. He was successful in protecting his state from the British by not having any enmity with them. Meanwhile, even the British wanted a strong buffer state to protect them from invasion from the northwest of India. In a nutshell, Ranjit Singh founded an independent Sikh state and ruled it as an independent king till his death in 1839. Coming to exercises, fill in the blanks with suitable answers. 1. At the end of First Anglo-Maratha War, Dash agreement was entered between Marathas and British. 2. The subsidiary alliance system was implemented by Dash. 3. The doctrine of lapse policy was implemented in the year Dash. 4. The doctrine of lapse policy was implemented by Dash. Next, discuss in groups and then answer the following. 1. Explain the reasons for First Anglo-Maratha War. 2. What were the conditions under subsidiary alliance? Explain. 3. Explain the Third Anglo-Maratha War. 4. How did the doctrine of lapse support the expansion of British Empire in India? 5. Which were the states that came under the doctrine of lapse policy? Next in the activity, analyze the strategies adopted by the British to expand their empire in India and write an essay on the same.